In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm Madison Kasper.
And I'm Daniel Lopez. Welcome back, Sharks. In this episode of Mako TV, we learn about the recent changes to NSU's music program. We ask Sharks about their Hispanic heritage, and we learn about the dynamic sibling duo on the women's volleyball team.
This year, the music program at NSU has been revamped. The program now focuses more on commercial music. Our reporter, Jessica Rodriguez, has the story.
First of all, he did guitar.
NSU's music program went through some major changes this school year. These changes were made to keep students' future careers in mind.
There was new about the new music major, and what makes it different from the old one is that a lot of the course content has been updated to reflect current developments in the music industry, both in terms of navigating the music industry and also the tools that modern musicians use to make music.
Having access to modern tools helps music students interested in music production.
It has been the biggest change for us artists that want to be able to pursue music as a career. I've been able to have access to all of these computers and equipment to be able to start producing my own songs and also to focus on my solo projects, because I've always wanted to be a producer but never had the equipment to be able to do it. So it's been a big change, but a great change.
The music program at NSU went through a restructuring. Now the program focuses on preparing students for commercial music.
But now we're connecting them to music that they are already connected to, which means that they're extra passionate about it because they already kind of have an idea in mind of where this is all going. And so to prepare them for that means they are setting themselves up much better for some kind of career, some path that is connected to and based around music and commercial music.
With this change, NSU aims to be student-centered. This means helping students out with their career goals.
It's tremendously beneficial because it will help us get a foot into how to actually put our music out there and potentially monetize our music. And so these courses that are being offered at NSU would definitely aid in going into that.
If you want help to join, contact the CAPS office at the Horvitz Administration Building. I'm Jessica Rodriguez with Mako TV.
Jessica also covered Protocolo, which is a play that originated from Madrid, Spain. This year, it was featured in the 39th International Hispanic Theater Festival of Miami.
Through the month of September, Miami hosts an international theater festival. This year, one of the plays featured was Protocolo. It was directed by Abel González Melo.
Y por primera vez estoy viniendo con una obra dirigida por mí en España, en una producción española. Y también siento que es una obra que tiene verdades universales, que las tenemos en España y también las podemos encontrar en Estados Unidos. Ese es, digamos, el valor del teatro, que más allá del sitio en el que se hace, puede encontrar resonancias en otros públicos y en otras realidades.
Protocolo is a Spanish play that originated in Madrid, Spain. It's a part of the 39th International Hispanic Theater Festival held in Miami.
Creo que sí que es necesario este tipo de festivales porque bueno, son ámbitos de encuentro donde la cultura y el teatro pues, de distintos países hispanos pues, se ponen en relevancia y es maravilloso además que suceda aquí en Estados Unidos.
Events like these help Hispanic people from different countries connect. Actor Ernesto Arias has first-hand experience with this feeling.
Claro, vienes aquí pensando que todo el mundo habla inglés y de repente hay una gran comunidad hispana con el que te puedes entender y siento un gran hermanamiento y entonces nos hace mucha ilusión a ver qué tal funciona aquí la obra y cómo palpita.
Participation in the arts from Latin groups bonds people in the culture. It allows for a deeper connection in a country that seems foreign to them.
Estamos muy emocionados, uno porque es una conexión con lo que somos hispanos y el saber que hay distintas compañías de distintas partes de lo que es Iberoamérica, pero en este caso la obra que vamos a ver es de España, pues nos nutre como hispanos y además nos nutre desde el punto de vista intelectual, que es lo importante.
Teatro Avante organized for the play to be shown at the Westchester Cultural Arts Center. I'm Jessica Rodriguez with Mako TV.
Thank you, Jessica. Here to talk about updates with Mako Radio is Assistant Station Manager DJ Romy. Welcome, DJ Romy.
Thank you for having me, Madison.
What's going on at Mako Radio?
So we're still live from 6 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday on 88.5 FM Sunrise or on our live stream www.nova.edu/Mako Radio. And I do have some amazing news. We are officially 1 week away from our College Radio Day kickoff. We will be live on air from 10 to 4 p.m. and we have a little bit of an after party from 4 to 6 with food trucks, games, live performances, and more. It's an event you won't want to miss.
And where can people find more information?
On our Instagram at NSU_Mako Radio.
Thank you for the updates.
Thank you for having me.
September is Hispanic Heritage Month. For our Sharks on the Street segment, our reporter Olivia Nur asks our Sharks about their Hispanic culture.
It's Hispanic Heritage Month and we are celebrating the traditions that bring us together. Today I am asking Sharks how they keep their culture alive. What traditions do you carry on to honor your culture?
Well, I have many traditions. I come from Cusco, Peru, and we have all the Incas traditions because it was the center of the Incas Imperium. And basically, one of the things I do every single year is that we have a shower of flowers. So at the end of the year, we just mix a couple of herbs and flowers, and we just spray it onto us, so it gives you good luck and change your energies to have good vibes for the new year.
I just spend time with family, my cousins whenever I'm in Peru, just in little things like food. Yeah, friends that have similar traditions as me, but I guess the straight up answer is friends and family.
Well, you know, when I think about culture, the first thing I think about is family. I honor my family a lot. My family are the people who brought me up. They're the people who raised me, and without them, where would you be in life? And on that note of family, I would definitely say that, you know, parties, tradition, anything that you can incorporate with family is definitely the most important thing that I do to incorporate my culture.
What are some traditions you carry on to honor your culture?
Some traditions that I carry on is annually going to Puerto Rico and visiting my home over there, as that's part of my Hispanic culture. Meanwhile, back at home in Orlando, even though my dad is from Louisiana, I do maintain his Creole traditions, and I often end up cooking a lot of food with crawfish and seafood in general. Like shrimp is my favorite, and that's what I love to make.
I'm Hispanic, so a lot of us are real big into food. It's been a loss whenever I'm off on campus. I'm missing a lot of the food that we make at home. So in order to celebrate my culture, I like to make dishes that my grandma would have made. I use a lot of the same spices, and I follow a lot of her recipes, even though she doesn't really have a cookbook, but I watch and listen to all of her recipes, and so I make them myself in order to feel more at home.
Hispanic Heritage Month is about honoring traditions, celebrating identity, and keeping culture alive for generations to come. I'm Olivia Nur with Mako TV.
Thank you, Olivia. Next, for our sports segment, we have our sports reporter Liv Zolk to give updates on NSU sports. Welcome, Liv.
Thank you, Daniel. Joining me is Maya Esparza from the Athletic Communications and the NSU's women's swim team. Welcome, Maya.
Thank you for having me, Liv.
Of course. So we know women's golf played earlier this week on Monday and Tuesday, their first tournament of the season. How did they do?
Golf had a great weekend. They placed 4th in the Eckerd Invite.
So men's soccer played on Wednesday against Lynn University, who are the #1 team in the country. How did the game go?
It was a super exciting game. 2 players had their first goal of the season, and the Sharks fought really hard, but ultimately they did fall 2-4.
So volleyball has its first conference games this weekend. How did they do in preseason leading up to now?
Volleyball's off to a really hot start. They have a 7-2 record right now, leading into their Sunshine State Conference games this weekend, where they'll be playing Barry and Palm Beach Atlantic.
Thank you so much for your updates.
Thank you for having me.
As volleyball looks to maintain its winning record, I got the opportunity to speak with the sibling duo, Gabrielle and Erica Spankus, on their relationship on and off the court. Let's take a look. NSU Women's Volleyball adds a unique dynamic from a sibling duo as the Spankus sisters take on the 2025-2026 season. Coach Inger highlights how having a sibling duo on the team is making a big impact for NSU on the court.
Yeah, I think it creates a good cohesion that they've played with each other and been around each other a long time, so they know what makes each other tick, and that almost is a benefit on the court because we know we have that one person that's going to know how they're going to react to things, and I think that's a pretty good benefit for us.
Junior Erica Spankus touches on why she decided NSU was the right choice for her academic and athletic career.
Yeah, so coming from a Division I school, I would say just the balance between academics and athletics was a big deciding factor for me. And I found that NSU was a great fit for me. Just class sizes, the volleyball program, the team culture and everything. And my sister helped me with that decision a lot, and she was able to tell me what I should look for in school and everything she admired about this program, so that was very helpful for me.
Because both sisters transferred from D1 schools, Gabriella from the University of Arkansas at Little Rock and Erica from the University of South Alabama, playing on the court again comes with its own set of sisterly challenges.
The main challenges will be just not bickering on the court, because obviously as sisters we bicker a lot at home, but just finding that mindset where we can push through the little things and move on.
Because we're so close, sometimes we know each other's limits of how far we can push each other. So that might be our little challenge that we face.
Captain Gabrielle Spankus reflects on the memories Erica and her share throughout their volleyball careers.
It's just kind of always been training together. I like that we can look back and see how far we've come because we both started at the same time. We both trained together, played at the same clubs all growing up, and now finishing out together at the same place. It's been really cool.
The junior and senior sisters are excited to share the court again for one last season. I'm Zolk with Mako TV.
Thank you, Liv, and thank you, Maya. Next for our health update, my co-anchor Madison sat down with Dr. Artie Raja to discuss sickle cell.
Welcome to the health update. I'm Madison Kasper. With me is Dr. Artie Raja, Mako Media's Science and Health Advisor. Welcome, Dr. Raja.
Thank you, Madison.
September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month. That's our topic for today. What is sickle cell anemia?
It's a genetic disease that affects a particular protein called hemoglobin, and this protein is present in red blood cells. And what happens in this disease is because there is a genetic mutation, the hemoglobin, and the red blood cell has a certain shape. It's a disc-shaped organelle. But when there's a mutation in that protein, hemoglobin, the red blood cell takes on this weird shape which looks like a sickle. And that's why the disease is called sickle cell disease. And that becomes problematic because the red blood cell can get stuck when it's moving through the body, through the capillaries. And also because the protein, the hemoglobin, is mutated or changed, it doesn't do a good job of carrying oxygen to all the organs in the body.
So Dr. Raja, one of my close friends actually has sickle cell, and for the past week she's been in the hospital with one of the crises. So what are the symptoms?
So the crises that you speak about, so that is referred to as a pain crisis. So usually what happens most commonly is when someone has this disease condition, they go through these episodes of pain. Again, just simply because there isn't efficient transport of oxygen to a vast variety of organs. So they'll have a lot of pain conditions, so they'll have to go in and out to take care of the pain or treat the pain. In addition to that, though, there are a lot of other problems that can happen because if you're not getting oxygen efficiently to your organs, so people end up having problems like lung problems, kidney problems, anemia. All these things can become complications of the disease.
How is it inherited?
Since it's a genetic disorder, it's inherited from the parents. And usually what can happen is if someone has sickle cell disease, that means they got both problematic genes from the two parents.
What complications can come from these pain crises?
Right, so the pain is the most common symptom, but if this goes on and it's not treated, organs get affected, and therefore the real complications become things like problems with the kidneys, problem with sometimes even the brain, and a series of these become the much more serious issues.
What treatments are available to help manage sickle cell?
Because there are variations, there are different types of treatments available. So the basic ones would begin with trying to help or ease with the pain. So the pain medications will come first to help someone bear or deal with the pain. Then comes things like blood transfusions, because the blood isn't or the red blood cell in the blood isn't doing the efficient job of transporting oxygen, they'll try to do blood transfusions to aid those patients. So there are multiple layers of treatment. So it's just a question of what the individual is facing that they'll then cater the treatment appropriately.
How can bone marrow or stem cell transplants help?
Bone marrow or stem cell transplant is actually the potential curative therapy. So you could, basically what you're doing in those cases, you're literally kind of replacing the red blood cells. You're taking out all the defective red blood cells and replacing it with, to put it in very simplistic terms, you're kind of replacing it with new and appropriate, proper red blood cells.
Thank you, Dr. Raja.
Thank you, Madison, and I hope your friend recovers soon.
This has been the Mako Media Health Update. I'm Madison Kasper. See you next time. Joining me for our arts segment is our executive producer and arts reporter, Jocelyn Saccucci. Welcome, Jocelyn.
Hi, Madison. Thank you for having me.
What's going on with arts here at NSU?
Mayfly is the 24-hour theater production held annually at NSU. The theme this year is Disney. For those interested in getting involved, an interest meeting will be held on October 1st in UC 354 at 12 p.m. Natalie Alfonso is an award-winning artist, and she is bringing her art to NSU. Her works will be shown in UC Gallery 217 starting on October 2nd at 5 p.m. This semester, DCMA is presenting its adaptation of Rent the Musical. Senior Natalie Marin was cast in the play. Natalie is a singer, musician, and actress who is passionate about arts. She can also be found at Mako Radio, where she goes by DJ Venus. For our Sharks in the Arts segment, our reporter Carrie Corson sat down with Natalie to talk about her role in the musical.
Welcome to Sharks in the Arts. I'm Carrie Corson. Our guest today is performer Natalie Marin, senior communication major. Hi, Natalie. We appreciate you being with us.
Hi, Carrie. Thank you for having me.
You were cast in the upcoming production of Rent. What role do you play?
I'm playing Maureen.
Interesting. How do you identify with the character?
So Maureen is a young artist who's very passionate about the arts. She's a singer, she's an actor, not so much of a dancer, which I feel like I can relate to. But yeah, her first piece in the musical is called Over the Moon, and she's basically protesting against the eviction of homeless and the artists. And she hates the fact that performance spaces are being cut. So I feel like I can identify with that in the sense that she's just so passionate about the arts, and I love that.
That's very nice to hear how you can connect with the character that way. The rock musical Rent debuted in 1996 and received the Pulitzer Prize and Tony Awards. Why is this show still relevant today, 30 years later?
I feel like Rent is very ahead of its time. You see a lot of representation now, or back then that you see now, in the sense that you see queer people and you see drag queens, and you don't really see that in the media back then, and I feel like it's so popular now to see that. And of course, I feel like college students and also just people in general could relate to the sense that you can't really pay for rent because things are really expensive, or you also choose your own family, which is a really common theme in Rent. So there's just a lot of things that people could relate to.
I enjoy hearing your perspective on that. Do you have any final thoughts?
I'm really excited to put this production on stage, so I hope that everybody enjoys it as well.
Well, thanks so much for speaking with us today on Mako TV. Rent will be performed in the Black Box Theater, located on the first floor of the Don Taft University Center, and that's located on NSU's Fort Lauderdale campus. Show times are Friday, October 3rd, and Saturday, October 4th at 7:30 p.m. Also on Sunday, October 5th at 2 p.m. Information about this and other events can be found online at nova.edu/arts. This has been Sharks in the Arts. I'm Carrie Corson. Until next time, carry on.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you for your updates, Jocelyn.
Thank you, Madison.
To end off our show, Felix Rodriguez is a former CIA operative. He visited NSU's Alvin Sherman Library to share some of his experiences. My co-anchor Daniel has the story.
Felix Rodriguez is a former CIA operative who witnessed history unfold during the Cold War. NSU hosted a panel in the Alvin Sherman Library where he shared some of his experiences.
Well, the Cold War was a significant part of our history during that time.
I think I haven't finished yet. There is a lot of situation going on all over the world about it. It was a period that was very interesting where they utilized this type of operation instead of an open war.
Felix Rodriguez worked in the CIA during important events in history. This panel connected listeners to those events through his perspective.
So the brigade fought bravely for 24 hours, for 72 hours. They used the ammunition for 24 hours and extended to 3 days.
Che Guevara was a major player for Cuba during the Cold War. Rodriguez's position gives him a unique perspective about the man and his legacy.
No, it's interesting for them to know the reality of what the Cold War was, especially who really Che Guevara was.
For Rodriguez's daughter, hearing her father's story in this way was an emotional experience.
I think it was very moving for me because I've heard his stories throughout my life, but to hear him say it again in front of, this audience, which is amazing, I think was wonderful. It just brought everything back to life for me again.
For more events hosted by the Alvin Sherman Library, visit library.nova.edu/Sherman. I'm Daniel Lopez with Mako TV.
Daniel, what was it like to speak to someone who has been through such pivotal moments in history?
It was a great privilege to talk to Mr. Rodriguez. I also got to learn about his involvement in the Civil War of my home country of El Salvador, which was really interesting.
That is all for this episode of Mako TV. You can catch our solo release videos on our YouTube channel at Mako Television.
You can also follow us on Instagram at NSU_Mako TV. Thank you for watching.
See you next time.
Go Sharks!